Good morning. You can see behind me, we're in the garage today. In this video, we're going to be doing a part 2 for our DIY Ovrlnd trailer build. This is a build we started back in November of last year, and I thought it was time to do a review on it. I want to talk about some of the places that we've taken the trailer, some upgrades that we've made to it, some things I'd probably do different after pulling a trailer for a year now. And I'll I've received a lot of questions and comments from the original vid, so I'll do my best to dive into a few of those things and answer some of those questions for you today. So stick around. So yeah, this is part 2 of our trailer build series. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll throw a link in here somewhere, and you can definitely jump over and check that out. If you're just starting your build, check it out. You may find something there that's useful. A little bit of history on our trailer. We started this back in November of 2020. It's been about 3 months working on it, getting it from just a basic utility trailer that you pick up at a Lowe's or Home Depot and getting it to a more trail-ready built Ovrlnd trailer. We had a trip planned for Florida in the spring during our kids' spring break, so that was a kind of a motivator for us to get this done so we could take it with us and really test it out and see how we liked it. But we put that first video out there back in May of last year, and since then it's got 24,000 views, which is crazy. I'm really surprised, and that was another reason for putting this video together. I want to try to dive into some of that, maybe some stuff I didn't cover quite as well in the first video. So we'll get into that here pretty soon. So yeah, the trips. Florida was a big one. We were looking at a week-long trip with 4 of us. We had planned to leave North Carolina and go all the way to Key West over about an 8-day period. And we knew we were going to be taking a lot of stuff, so the trailer was a big part of that. But I could not have been happier with the trailer and how it performed, and the convenience of just having that extra space. I mean, it pulled great. Like I said, we had plenty of storage. But like I said, it did great. Absolutely no complaints with it. We found campsites all the way from St. Augustine down to Key Largo. And all in all, I think it was about a 2,600 mile trip. And I said it was over an 8-day period. But one stop along, during that trip was some of the trails at Ocala National Forest. So, we did get off-road a little bit. There was a lot of pavement on that trip, but, with that stop, we did get into some dirt, and the trailer actually got its first badge of honor trail on its maiden voyage. So that was pretty exciting. But after Florida, we started looking at a few other camping trips and things we wanted to take, including going up into the mountains here in North Carolina, along, from the Blowing Rock area, all the way down through Mount Mitchell, exploring that Pisgah National Forest area. It was just a beautiful country, so we were able to get up there and do some camping as well. In this area too, we have the Blue Ridge Parkway. That's a big attraction and perfect for overlanding and getting out away from the crazy everyday life and enjoying some nature. So we spent a lot of time on the parkway. We even have taken the trailer up to Rouse Creek. There's a few of us that got together back in May, and we planned a weekend to go up to Rouse Creek, hit some trails up there, and of course we took the trailer with us and set up a base camp. Couldn't have been happier with what we were able to set up and have kind of a home base, so that was really nice. We also spent some time up in Northern Virginia doing a bit of overlanding through Shenandoah National Park. Beautiful country up there. That's where the Skyline Drive and the Blue Ridge Parkway kind of meet, so it was nice to get up in that part of the country as well. While we were up in that area of Virginia near that Shenandoah National Park, we were able to also get over to George Washington National Forest, where there is another badge of honor trail, Peters Mill Run. So of course we were close. We had to take advantage and try to catch another trail while we could, and the trailer made the trail with us. So another little, little check mark there for the trailer. Got another badge of honor. So, and just a few weeks ago, Chris and I made our way up to the Ovrlnd Expo East in Arrington, Virginia. And wow, that was a great event. A lot of trailers up there. It was really interesting to see how that market has just really taken off. I mean, there's so many manufacturers out there now making these trailers that are so customizable and so versatile in the way that they can be set up. It gave me a lot of good ideas and things that I really wish I would have thought it through a little bit more when I started our build. But there again, you start looking at those, and don't forget to look at that price tag, because they are pricey, very, very pricey. Another huge benefit to building your own and do it in a way that works best for you. So after using the trailer a lot and going to the expo and really getting the wheels turning, I decided it was time to start checking off a few more boxes and get this thing up to speed and fix some things, like I said, I should have done to start with, and just some upgrades I wanted to make. But the biggest thing I realized was I needed to get more ground clearance. I kept the original leaf spring set up on the trailer. That was factory, I guess, and all we really did was flip those axles over to the bottom side. And after seeing other trailers and getting other ideas, I realized it just wasn't adequate. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was start fresh. So I threw it up on some blocks, cut out all of the old original brackets and leaf spring setup, and added some new structural steel, bought a whole new setup of brackets, leaf springs, shackles, and got that to be a little more suitable for what we needed. It gave us about 3.5 more inches of ground clearance and a lot smoother ride. It made such a huge difference. And you actually, now when I pull the trailer, I can see some flex between the wheels and the fenders. So I know the suspension's back there working. And another thing that we did while we had those guts tore out from underneath it, is a viewer had commented that some manufacturers will put a preload in their axles. Didn't know that. As I mentioned, I'm not an expert. So that was some great advice. So while we were going through the process, I bought new purchase, got those welded to the correct side of the axles so we could get that preload orientation set back the way that it needed to be. So thank you for the tip on that. That was a good fix. Also, since the first vid came out, we did add an 8-foot ARB awning to the driver's side of the trailer. I knew going into it that was going to be an add-on. I just didn't have it at the time, and we were to pick one up and get it added. I wanted that awning to be a little more versatile. I didn't want it up high in the air when we were traveling or on the trail, so I made some brackets on the front and rear of the trailer that would make it adjustable. So when we are traveling, I can drop it down to a real low point and make sure it's out the way of any and not an obstruction for anything that we might run into. Then when we're at camp, it's a quick setup. I can raise it up to well over 6 or 7 feet and give us plenty of clearance underneath the awning. So that's been a real nice addition too. Up on the front of the trailer, we actually took out the original tongue bar and extended it with a new one, a more heavy duty one, up to about 18 inches. What that did was give me enough room to add a tongue box for additional storage, and also keep enough clearance with the Jeep rear door so we could open that up while the trailer was still connected. We had a very tight tolerance on the original length of that tongue, so I wanted to extend that out and give us a little more clearance there. And I say with the tongue box, huge benefit with some storage, keep tools and compressor stowed away in there, and also some things that are needed for camp setup, just some leveling blocks and anything else that I need to get to quick for setting up camp, and I don't have to unpack the trailer to get to certain items. So that's been a big help already. Also decided to go with a 2-inch ball instead of the original 1 7/8, just to beef that up a little bit. So down the side of the trailer, I added some 12-volt power options, just standard cigarette lighter and some USBs. Through the 7-pin connector on the Jeep, I was able to run some power into the trailer, into a fuse panel. And from that fuse panel, we can power all of our accessories, including this new power bank that's added to the side. I also relocated our tailgate table off of the Jeep to this side of the trailer. We've had that tailgate table on the Jeep for a while, but with our setup of pulling the trailer and the boys using the deep sleep air mattress in the Jeep, it was really not convenient to get into that rear door and use that table. So we thought, why not just throw it on the side of the trailer? It's quick, convenient, serves a purpose. So yeah, between the cooler, slide out drawer, the 12-volt power options, that quick drop down table, all of that covered up with the new ARB awning, it gives us a really nice, quick and easy setup for camp. So coming around to the back of the trailer, on the inside of the rear door, I added a molly panel. I just wanted a place to throw some extra bags, a place to store some tools. I keep up with some any cabling or first aid equipment, anything like that I wanted to just give a home and know exactly where it was all the time to make things a little more quick and convenient. Another cheap, quick little mod I decided to do was on the front side door where the cooler is, I added some Velcro paneling just so we can start, if we get a collection of badges, we'll have somewhere to keep those too. So after the first video came out, I started getting a lot of comments and questions and things about the trailer. And one question that came up several times was, how did I build the doors? The doors are made out of just some angle iron. The actual door jambs that are attached to the trailer are a 1-inch angle. And using a 1-inch angle gave me just enough clearance to add some weather stripping and then use a 3/4 angle as the door frame that would seat up against it. So it's just a matter of positioning the angle in a way that they nest together and adding that weather stripping. And on the inside of that 3/4 angle, it's actually 5/8. That dimension is 5/8 of an inch, which worked perfect for some 5/8 plywood, which is the paneling that I used all the way around the sides of the trailer. So yeah, not much to it. It was some 1-inch angle, some 3/4 angle, some weather stripping off of Amazon, and some 5/8 plywood. The hinges for both doors came off of Amazon. Nothing too fancy about either of those. Another thing I briefly touched on when I did the original video was some of the lighting setup. There's 2 sets of lights. I've got an inside set of lights, it's just an LED light strip. Then I hooked to a reed switch and connected that to that rear door, so when the door swings open, as long as you're connected, it throws the power onto those lights. And it's really, really nice and convenient to have that at night when you're at camp. So, and as far as the side lights, they're actually a rock light picked up from Harbor Freight. Nothing too fancy, but they worked out perfect for this trailer. I was able to mount them on the side post and run a switch to them, which is located right inside the front door next to the cooler. That way, when you're up at night, you can open that door, hit the switch, throw the light all the way around the trailer, which is really quick and convenient and helps when you're preparing food or just hanging out at camp and need some additional light. So it worked out great. Do a little bit of research and figuring I was able to get those lights to activate also when the Jeep is in reverse, which when you're back in a dark trailer at night, that makes a huge difference. So really happy with how that turned out. It is a game changer to have those lights kick on every time I go into reverse. So yeah, the lighting setup so far has been great. We can even now add additional lighting with that 12-volt power bank that's on the side of the trailer there. The awning has some lights built into it. We can add additional lights up into the tent. So it's all worked out very well. I'm really pleased with how the electrical and the lighting and stuff has come together. So as for an official review, I love this thing. This trailer, it's been a lot of fun to have this thing with us and to organize our storage and to be able to carry all of our gear. It's just been a lot of fun to build. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of it, getting the kids involved and it's just been a fun process, and it's fun to find things that we want to do differently and things we want to add to it, and I'm sure we will do more and more of that as we use it. But no complaints. It's been, like I said, super fun. It's been great to have it out there with us, and I'm looking forward to a lot more trips with this thing next year into 2022. Maybe even Moab. Maybe we'll see. Definitely are some things that I would have done differently. Not that I did them wrong or anything to start with. It's just the ideas and some things weren't there at the time, I guess. And one of those is these utility trailers you pick up, guys, they're not, the quality on those is not great by any means. So you want to take your time to really check just the foundation of that thing and make sure it's square, make sure everything's in line like you need it to be. The lift that I recently did, as far as just getting that suspension a little more beefier and suitable for what we were needing, I should have dove in and done that first and got all that corrected and in the way it needed to be. As far as any future plans for the trailer, there are some things that I'm definitely thinking about doing. I want some water storage, a water tank of some kind. I don't know how I'm going to put that together yet, but I'm thinking about that. I mentioned the power option. I'll probably add some standalone power with a battery bank and tie that in so we could run off of a standalone power versus having to plug into the Jeep. Now with the lift, I probably can go with a larger wheel and tire. The tire that's on there now, so I think it's about a 28-inch tire, and I could probably get up to at least a 30. So as I wear these out, I may upgrade that the next round of wheels and tires. And I've been looking into the Rhino, DIY Rhino liner that you can pick up now. So I'll probably, maybe next year, I'll look into putting a nice Rhino liner shell around all the exterior and painting just some of the other exposed metal, which I'll still just primed for now, but I may put a better finish on it next year and maybe seal it up a little better as well. So, well, that pretty much wraps up our part 2 for our DIY Ovrlnd trailer build. So thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, be sure to drop them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. Who knows, there might be a part 3 to this build at some point. So thanks again.